What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be going over my Remiliss 1 and 2 dot deck. If you like that, make sure you check out the playlist. End of the line is a tough name to remember. End of the line, and see all the matches that she got to play. It was really fun playing this character. Let's jump into it. All right. So if you've never seen one of my deck profiles, basically, as opposed to reading off the card verbatim and telling you what the card does and just reading it, I'm going to give you more of an elevator pitch. So what's the elevator pitch for this Remy deck under fire? Well, the pitch is I want to just, murder you. I just want to kill you as fast as I can. And the way that I do that is by using Remy. Every time that I play a character card, I get to draw a card, and then adding up a character for +2, adding a character in for +2 damage, and then Remy 2 dot says after I add one in, I get to ready a foundation, and then I'll put it back in my hand for +2 speed, right? And so comboing these two cards together, I draw a card, I ready a card, I give damage, I give speed, and I just loop this over and over and over again. And so essentially what my character says is I make every single one of my attacks +1 difficulty, but every single one of my attacks say +2 speed, +2 damage, draw a card, ready a card, is essentially the way that you can describe it. And so we're playing Remy 1 dot, and we're playing, obviously, 4 Remy 2 dots, because I got to be able to see the combo as quickly as I can. And so drawing up and not seeing Remy 2 means that my entire engine is very slow. So seeing Remy 2 is actually like a pseudo-mulligan condition. If my hand is okay but not great, I could totally see myself mulliganing for a Remy 2 in order to make sure that I can get my consistency going. We'll stack them both here. Can you? So in addition to that, I'm also playing an additional Remy 1 dot, and here's why. So these two, the way that 2 triggers is it just says after a character is added or readied, and so if I have a 1 and a 2 in my staging area already, I'll just go ahead and loop and cycle the extra 1 dot to make sure that I don't lose the connection for it, as well as it's just an additional 6 check in my deck. It's a good mid block, and it still says after I play it, draw a card, and that includes as like a block or whatever. And so it just lets me hit the cycle a little cleaner. It'd be like it's working the same way as if I had an extra 2 dot. I would just cycle the same 2 dot. The same thing works with the 1 dot. So essentially, hopefully I'm playing only 4 extra characters, because as soon as I get 1 stuck, I want to leave it there. I don't want to mess with the synergy that 1 and 2 has. Up next, onto our attacks, we're playing 4 Moondance Ritual. This is just a really good starter card. This just lets me build a little faster. And imagine, because I don't want to keep repeating it, every single one of my attacks have additional +2/+2, and they also said draw a card, ready a card. And so on turn 1, I can review some whatever garbage foundation, and then play my Moondance, build it in, and then smack them, find my Remy 2 dot, because of gauge 2. On turn 1 or turn 2, blocking a 9 low for 4 is exceptionally hard. It's so hard. And so this card is just like the best gauge attack in the game currently, and giving this thing having 9 speed 4 damage is just nuts. The next card is like the main kill card that I wanted to go for. It's Shadow Slicer, and the reason this is the main kill card is because of how many cards that I'm checking. Every time that I play an attack, I actually discard an additional card because I'm hopefully playing a character before it, right? And so I want to play this, and having my Shadow Slicer be an 8 high for 8 4 times, 8 high for 8 4 times, means that they can't block it. It's just not possible. And so playing out 4 of these, drawing a card in between each one of them, means that I just actually drew a grip of attacks, because I didn't plus my progressive at all. If I'm at Desperation, even including Remy 2 dot, it's just it's a 4 diff that drew me a card, ready to card, and then 8 high for 8. Seems pretty okay. Seems all right. For the same reason that we're playing Shadow Slicer, I'm playing 4 Iron Knuckle. It's honestly just stats, just raw stats. I don't want you to be able to block anything. And so Iron Knuckle gets extra stats, Remy gets extra stats, and there was plenty of times where this would be also an 8 high for 8. And at one point, somebody blocked with a mid block and tried to respond with it, and this says no block tricks. Sorry, buddy. If they block with it, just seal it. It means it takes away all the card text on it. No responses, no breakers, no nothing. Up next, we're playing for Dispelling Horn. I wanted to really make sure that I played a reversal because blocking with Remy and then blocking with Remy, drawing a card, playing the reversal, maybe I checked a little poorly and I'll commit one. Well, I'll actually get this Remy out of my way. Remy is the best blocking character possibly in the entire game just because of how she gets to loop and replay and clear her own card pool and ready stuff and so on and so forth. The issue that Remy has is being able to deal and stop my opponent's turn. And so in playing Dispelling Horn, I get to take and gauge out another character in order to keep my loops. It's really fast. It's really strong. This attack puts in a ton of work because as soon as I block with Remy, build it in, it gets 2 damage, so it's 6 damage. And then Dispelling Horn, if I've got more characters than you do, I probably do. I have 2 of them out. Most people only play 1 character. It gets an extra 4 damage. I'll lift back up my Remy and it'll get another 2 speed. And so it's a 10 mid for 6 that gauges me about a character. Yeah, sounds great actually. And then my last one is Keiko Slap. So this card's in here for 2 reasons. Number 1, it lets me keep extending cards onto my turn, and it essentially says that one of my Remys doesn't count as progressive if I play it afterwards, as well as a reversal. It's a 5 mid for 5 that they have to deal with, or their next attack this turn has +3 progressive difficulty, essentially ending their turn. I drew a card, I readied a card, 5 mid for 5. I got a little pump on them, and then we can't go slap him, just trying to end their turn. I want to do the cool things on my turn. On to the actions and assets. Like I said, I want to kill you as quickly as possible. So we're playing for Big Shot Punch. This card just says +3 or -3 damage. It's exceptionally good on offense. It's even better on defense. It says that sometimes I don't even have to try and block with my Remy, but just in case I do have to block, I'm also playing for Big Shot Judy. Judy gets to pick up Punch, and Punch gets to pick up Judy out of my discard pile, and I'm making a bunch of checks because of all the extra characters that I'm playing. I'm kind of cycling and looping cards, and maybe on a Shadow Slicer, that 8 high for 8's not quite enough, and so on the 4th or 5th, on the 4th Shadow Slicer, I'll just Big Shot Punch and Judy loop you, and then make this thing actually a 20 high for 20. Super possible. Onto the foundations. I've kind of boxed out the foundations into their jobs, their groups, and so the first foundation group is just milling, discarding. And this card says Enhance, Fire Enhance, which my character has. It's a symbol we're playing under. Discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Your attack gets +1 damage. So I just want to see more Remy's in my discard pile. I want to see the Punch of Judy's in my discard pile. And most importantly, I want to see Shadow Slices in my discard pile. As well as it says my attack gets +1 damage. So I can even use this on my opponent's turn and just keep milling cards. Tossing out 2 of these says that I'm probably going to try and kill you next turn. In addition to that, we're also playing for Folktale Storyteller. Folktale says after I play it, if I have at least 2 foundations, I can take and discard the top 3 cards of my deck. Perfect for fighting Shadow Slices and more Remy's and more Punch Judy's. And I get to build it in my staging area face down. Incredibly strong in order to keep going, especially whenever I accidentally draw them off of playing a Remy. I'll play the Remy, respond Remy, draw Folktale. Oh yeah, I'll play the Folktale, mill my 3, build it down. All right, now I'll play this thing. I'll commit it, add in Remy, ready it back up. Hey, I just get build an extra foundation for no reason. The next section is just called Consistency. As you can tell, every time that I've talked about a card, I've talked about also having Remy 2-dot. And if you can't find Remiliss 2-dot, you can't play the game. And so you have to play double blueprints in order to find this character. I used to think this card was not that great, but in a character that you have to absolutely find this card, it is super good. In addition to that, you can take and kind of abuse the commit. I'll enhance commit, stack a Remy on top, and then block with my Remy, build it in, and then ready back up my blueprints. It is an auto free pass once per turn if I already have the loop going on. In addition to that, we got a new promo called a Moment of Rest. It just says after you block with after you play a character, you can add it in. So 9 times out of 10, the way that people fight and beat Remy is they throw an attack. I pick up my Remy, I block with my only Remy because I have to, and then they just end their turn. Well, my Remy goes to the discard pile. This says that not only do I get to respond and draw my card, I'll flip a Moment of Rest and just auto build back in my Remy. And your poke actually didn't get you anywhere. It did not make me lose anything. All it did was make me flip my Moment of Rest, which is actually pretty good because its other ability of Enhance Flip, the stack gains gauge X equals printed damage, is very good. Remember that play that I said at the very beginning of the game? If I discard a 1 diff on turn 1, the best play that I could possibly do is review a moment of the Moment of Rest, play my Moondance on a 1, it checks well, add in the Moment of Rest, gauge, flip gauge, smack you for 2 twice, build in 2 characters. I'm set for the rest of the game. It's just consistency in a nutshell. It's consistency. We're playing 4 Power Cycle, kind of the same way that a Moment of Rest works. This kind of works just adding in a character on my attack. Commit flip, add 1 card, any card from my discard pile to my card pool. So I'll just add in a Remy 2 dot and then use Remy 1 to build it in, pick it back up, and start my loop all over again. And once I build it in, I just ready back up my face down. This card has to be a 4 of in order to try and see the cards that you need. We're playing a 4 Iron Grit. It works the same way as as a Power Cycle or a Moment of Rest, except for as opposed to putting it in my card pool or adding it to my character, this one puts it in my hand. After I check a card with a 6, just pick it up. And honestly, the best thing to do about this is, 1, it's playable while committed, and 2, it lets me pick up these 2 cool cards. And so if I don't have one of them and the rest of them are all in my discard pile, I'll make my check for the Remy. Oh, I checked a punch. Well, I'll pick it up. I'll play my Shadow Slicer. Hey, I'll big shot punch and Judy you. You didn't see that coming because I didn't see it coming either. Up next, we're talking about defense, good old-fashioned blocking, but this card doesn't say I have to block. Response remove, discard 1 character card. After your opponent plays a card as a form, discard it from their card pool. So playing a card as a form is the proper noun that we have in order to play a card into our card pool. It's playing it as a form. And so if they play an attack as a form, I'll get rid of it. If they play a foundation, I'll get rid of it. An asset I don't want to deal with, just remove this, discard a character. I've got plenty of them, just get rid of it. This card's incredibly strong, but it is a 3/4 non-block, and so I can't really have too many of them. Plus, I want to keep my characters in my hand in my staging area as much as I can. Up next, we're playing 4 Kieran Soul. We have the option to, so we definitely should. This makes up for my my not so great block zones because it turns all of my Remys into perfect blocks. In addition to that, my opponent's attack also gets -1 speed for each character in my staging area. There's sometimes where I can have 6, 7 characters inside of my staging area, and so actually, is that true? 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. 6 characters in my staging area. So flip -6 speed and auto block whatever and draw a card and ready a foundation back up. It seems pretty good. And then my last defensive card is double Overly Dramatic. If my opponent tries to stop a cool thing that I'm doing, just knock it off. If I was playing in the mirror match, this says that maybe my attack doesn't get the 2 speed or the 2 damage. Sometimes attacks, you don't necessarily care about the speed, but you do care about the damage. Maybe it's a throw or something along those lines. If they affect 1 stat or both stats, you just get to cancel it with Overly Dramatic. Really strong stuff. All right, so that was my Fire Remiliss deck. If you like the deck, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts, your feedbacks on the deck. How can I make it better, or so on and so forth. Like I said at the top, once again, if you liked the deck and you want to see how it operated, make sure you go out and check out the playlist of End of the Line here on the YouTube channel. And if you want to see the entire campus championships as we film them, twitch.tv/TCG University every Tuesday at 6 p.m. We film and live stream out there for all of you, the good people. Last pitch, if you want to support us, go out to patreon.com/TCG University, and at some of the $1 level, you get access to the Discord, and I would love to talk about my Remy deck, your Remy deck, your neighbor's Remy deck, anybody's Remy deck. Just hit me up out there, and I would love to have a conversation with you. So, from all of us here at TCG University, thank you very much for watching, and stay learned.